All right, good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of Get Rominger on the Phone. As always, I'm going to beat up on Doug Mastriano all night because he is, after all, extremely dangerous. And if you don't like that, well, tune in somewhere else, right? I know some of you guys are going to jump right off. Now, but in all seriousness, I think Dangerous Doug is off his meds. I'm just going to go right into it right here. He claims Children's Hospital in Philly experimenting on kidnapped kids. Okay. He's literally claiming that somebody kidnapped kids and doing some kind of transgender research on them. Obviously, the Children's Hospital denied that. Something recent happened with a QAnon thing with a DC hospital as well, and they had all these kinds of hate calls from all the crazies. Remember the Comet Pizza and the guy that showed up with the gun and said, "Oh, I gotta save the kids," because the Comet Pizza was moving the kids through the underground dungeons to the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation or the White House or whatever our cuckoo QAnon friends came up with most recently. Well, Dangerous Doug Mastriano, the guy who wants to be your governor and run your state, who is the Republican nominee, which just scares the hell out of me. I mean, Oz, you can see, right? I voted for Oz in the primary. Lou Barletta apparently has come out and endorsed Mastriano. I have lost any or all respect for Lou Barletta on that basis alone. Lou, if you're listening to this, my God, what are you doing? Did you see what this nut did? But listen to this. The Reawaken America event that just happened at Spooky Nook, apparently Dangerous Doug was supposed to be a guest speaker there. Apparently it was too scary for even Doug to go there. Well, they had a woman there from Pfizer talking about how LED lights cause COVID or COVID was released. And it's an LED light that activates the COVID. So, if you remove the LED lights from your house and somehow this Pfizer built virus got into your house, but you didn't have the LEDs, you might not get it. So, the newest technological things are always what these people are afraid of. So LED lights obviously are the most dangerous, especially when they shine blue, right, folks? So you got Dangerous Doug telling us that the hospital's experimenting on kids for these gender research, buzzwords, right? But even he wasn't going to go to the Spooky Nook thing, right? Because the last time he went to one of these QAnon fests, I think this is one of Mike Flynn's things, by the way. Last time he went to one of these QAnon festivals, he got in a little bit of trouble in the headlines, for associating with the wackadoodles. The good news for him is it turns out when they interviewed the wackadoodles at this Reawakening America, they're all planning to vote for Doug Mastriano otherwise. And so they weren't really upset that he kind of gave him the stiff arm. So actually, it was pretty smart politics on his part. Which reminds me, I just want to give you guys an update that woke Walt Disney is still thriving. And how's that possible, right? I mean, they're woke, and if you're woke, you go broke and everything. But it turns out most of you who are upset with Disney's wokeness, things like black princesses and things like that are just blowing up your heads. They're actually the guys that own ESPN and ABC. So all those shows you like to watch on ESPN, like Monday Night Football, every time you do that, you're putting dollars in Disney's bank account, okay? So I want to thank you guys for keeping Disney afloat. What else do we know? Steve Bannon just got 4 months. And I know it's just a big conspiracy. It's a terrible thing. He was singled out. No, he ignored a subpoena. All he had to do was show up with his lawyers, and he didn't have to answer any questions. He didn't have to produce any documents. He just had to show up and lodge objections. Instead, he waved it around and said, "It's a bullshit committee. You can't make me go. I declare it has no legitimacy." And the judge said, a Trump appointed judge said, "No, you thumbed your nose at us. You denied following a subpoena of Congress, and I need to send an example to other people that you have to follow the procedures. You can't just say, I'm not showing up, ignore it." He's saying he was following the advice of counsel. I doubt that's true. That'd be terrible lawyers, and he should sue him for every month he's in jail if that's what they told him. But we know what they really told him, which is you got to show up, you got to participate, but you don't have to answer any questions. You can invoke any of the privileges you want to invoke after you show up and say, "Hi, I'm Steve Bannon. I'm here in compliance with the subpoena." What else is going on? Well, tomorrow, Monday, starts the Trump trial. That's a Trump organization. Alan Weisselberg is expected to, as part of his plea agreement, talk about the fraud that he and the Trump organization committed to avoid taxes and do other things. We'll see how that turns. That's going to be our first peek inside how the Trump organization actually works. There'll be more to come on that. So I just want to wrap it up with my midterm predictions again. Tonight's a very short hit piece here, right? Hit piece on Doug Mastriano. Don't vote for Doug Mastriano. If you're a Republican, vote for anybody but Doug Mastriano, right? Lou Barletta, even though I've lost all respect for him, if you can't stomach voting for Shapiro. Shapiro's not going to destroy the state, okay? Just like nobody's going to destroy the state. Nobody hates the state. Nobody wants to destroy you and take everything away from you. It's not like that. Mastriano actually does want to take a few things away from you, particularly if you're a woman and you thought you might need an abortion. Your life might be on the line. Even just 3 years ago, he said for a woman to have an abortion is murder. Any abortion, all abortions. Now, he's not really saying that right now. He's just sort of when he answers the questions about abortion, right? But I don't think Doug Mastriano has a chance of winning. But, I live in fear that he could. Because the same people who are mad at Disney but watch ESPN think they understand politics, right? That's what's going on here. Remember that. So my midterm predictions really haven't been changing much. I still think the abortion undercurrent is going to be stronger than Republicans are admitting right now. I think the economic issues are going to be stronger than maybe Democrats are admitting right now. So I still think things are going to be closely divided. It's really going to be a turnout race. And by all signs, early voting in Georgia turnout is high. Talking about Georgia, Herschel Walker down there, right, is still the choice of the Republicans. But I saw a piece where I think it was New York Times or Wall Street Journal, I think it was New York Times, interviewed people in Alpharetta at a farmer's market or diner and talked to Republicans. And a few of the Republicans said, hey, I'm voting for Herschel Walker because I need control of the Senate for the Republicans. We're not going to give that up this time. But a bunch of other Republicans they talked to were torn and said they may vote for nobody and just leave the Senate blank. And it appears that in a closely divided state like Georgia, that may be enough to swing the election against Herschel Walker. So I'm still predicting Herschel Walker will lose. Utah's got some interesting things going on out there. There's a closer than expected Senate race, right? Senator Lee out there, who was one of these January 6 types, is suddenly trying to pull back from that. And it's not working out so well for him. So we'll see. Colorado's at play. J.D. Vance is probably going to win Ohio. I don't think the Democrat over there could win it. So I will keep you updated because we're going to get close. And when it gets to be election day, I intend to do quite a bit of broadcasting on that day. Also want to let you guys know, I'm going to keep doing Rominger on the phone, but I'm about to make a big pivot to a very different but very familiar broadcast. So looking forward to making more specific announcements about that. The exact timing's up in the air. But before the end of the year, we're going to move into some stuff that I know you guys like to talk about, some things that you want me to talk about. Some of you have been upset. I've got a lot of feedback with people saying, Karl, just can't you do something legal? Does it have to be politics? I don't always agree with you. It's okay. I don't always agree with you either. But yeah, we got something new and exciting in the works. It's also going to include some written material. We might have mentioned that once before. Time's getting close. Coming up on my 1-year anniversary of freedom. And a little bit before that, so maybe the end of November, beginning of December, watch for something big.